I almost wore a blue and white stripe.
Oh, that would be funny.
That would have been hilarious.
I was like, I just got this recently. I'm like, seriously,
I
girl,
love
was it
it.
Wednesday? Was it Thursday? I don't know. Hi everyone, I'm Congresswoman Grace Meng and thrilled to be here with our amazing Senator Tammy Duckworth. I've known her for a while and just wanted the opportunity for folks, in case you don't already know of her, to learn a little bit more about her. Senator, you know, we grew up having certain traditions. In my house, we drank certain types of tea, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit about any favorite teas that you might have or any traditions?
So some of my earliest childhood memories was sucking on the rock sugar that we would mix in with chrysanthemum tea. So I've always loved chrysanthemum tea, both the hot chrysanthemum tea, but also the cans of cold chrysanthemum tea. Because my mother would sometimes say, oh, you have heat inside, that's your illness, and you gotta get the heat out, and the chrysanthemum tea would help with that.
Oh, I love that. I wish I had that for you here today. I just have regular tea, but here's a little bit.
Thank you.
Are there any traditions that you're now sharing with your daughters and your family?
I think for me, it's overall, it's just the dim sum, which is my girls love dim sum. They have their particular things that they like to eat, but it's also a way that we're expanding beyond our family into our adopted family. So, you know Belly Hong very well. She's sort of the godmother of AAPIs in the Washington, D.C. area in government service, and she started a network for AAPIs who work in government service. And so she has been holding about a quarterly dim sum get together with the women.
Oh, I love it.
And I've been taking my girls to that, and they've been having fun.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
And for those who may not know, you are the first U.S. Senator to give birth while in office. Can you tell us about any of the challenges that you faced serving in the Senate and caring for a newborn?
Yeah, it's tough. Well, you know, I was the 10th to give birth in the House when I had my eldest, when we were in the House together. And yes, the first to give birth while in office. The men have been having babies for 200 years, though. They even claim some of them as their own. But having the to actually give birth out of my own body, it was tough because in the Senate we don't have proxy voting and we don't have electronic voting.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually had to come in to vote when my daughter was just 10 days old.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really hard because it took me a full 9 months. As soon as I was pregnant, I had to start arguing and fighting for permission to bring my daughter onto the floor to vote. Because you have to vote from the floor in person, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had to physically come onto the floor, and it took me 9 months, a whole pregnancy, to wait till there was actually leadership change in the Senate before I could be granted permission to do that. Otherwise, I would not have been able to vote.
And as you may know, women make up just 26% of the Senate and 29% of the House, and even fewer are working parents. Why is it important that Congress reflects the lived experiences of millions of working parents across the country?
Well, women make up 51% of our population, so we are underrepresented in the halls of power. And until we have those different perspectives at the table, a lot of issues will get missed, even by well-meaning people. So I'll give you an example. I was in the House, right? We were in the House together, and I had not had my first child yet. It wasn't until after I had my eldest daughter and I started breastfeeding and trying to express breast milk, flying back and forth between Illinois and DC, trying to breastfeed my daughter, trying to save breast milk for her, that I realized that there was no place in the airports for me to express breast milk. And in fact, I was told, well, you have a choice. You can either pump breast milk in the handicap stall of the public toilet, which was disgusting, because you wouldn't make a sandwich for yourself in there. Why should I make breast milk for my baby? Or you can go plug your breast pump in next to where those guys are charging their phones. Right? With this thing on.
Right.
You know,
no one will notice.
Sure. Right? Next to where the guys have the phone charge. Well, this is ridiculous. It wasn't until I had that lived experience, even though I was a progressive Democrat and supported breastfeeding, until I lived that experience and realized, holy cow, this doesn't work. And it took us 5 years. We passed a law that now there are lactation rooms at all of the airports in this country. Every time I go by one of those, I tell my eldest daughter, this is because of you.
Wow. I hope moms and babies across the country appreciate what Senator Duckworth has done to help.
But it was because I was here and had that experience. That's why we need to get more women. And that's how you support working families, is to have more people who have who are actively balancing work and
Right.
jobs.
Yeah, all right.
And
22% more moms to go.
Yes.
So as a working mom, I don't know, do you ever feel mom guilt? I do.
All the time.
As working moms in Congress, it's really tough to be away from our kids during the week. You know, what's your favorite thing to do when you are with your kids again, when you're together?
Yeah. So my 7-year-old is a snuggler. So I love snuggling with her, and she loves sleeping with me and taking naps with me. So I love that. But overall, I'm trying to get them out of the house more, and I love kayaking.
Off their phones,
Off their
right?
phones. So I love kayaking and doing outdoorsy stuff. And they actually like going kayaking with me. So my husband takes one kayak with one kid, and I take a kayak with the other kid, and we take the goldfish crackers, and they just feed the ducks and stuff.
Oh.
They don't actually paddle, they just come along for the ride. But it gets them out of the house, and they love feeding the fish and their
Oh,
ducks.
that's
So
such
that's
a
fun.
special memory.
Yeah.
So as a working parent, you know, like you said, what it's like to have to work and to balance family life, and you've literally worked to change policies like being able to nurse and breastfeed in the airports. Are there any other policies that you're working on or that you would like to see change to help our working parents?
Well, I mean, obviously, universal childcare would be really good. I think also paid family leave is critically important. For far too many families, they don't have access to paid family leave. So when a child is sick or when you need to take time off, you can't do it, and that really is detrimental to our families. And oftentimes, people have to choose: do you work or do you take care of a family member who's ill? We shouldn't make people make that decision. It's bad for the family unit, but it's also bad for the economy because you lose a productive worker, right, from our economy. And I'm also doing a lot on women's health care with protecting access to IVF and women's reproductive choice as well, especially since we just had the 1-year anniversary of the Dobbs decision.
Well, we are so lucky that we have someone like Tammy Duckworth serving in the United States Senate, literally carrying the voices and needs of working parents, working moms, and families to the halls of the United States Senate. Thank you for tuning in. We're doing this so folks can see who is representing them in Congress, in the Senate, and members of our AA and HPI communities. Thank you so much, Senator.
You're
Duckworth.
welcome. You're welcome. I can't believe your son is off to college. Isn't he 8?
Yes, I know.
He
They
was
were
8.
2 and 4 when I
2
started.
and 4 when you started.
Now they're one's graduating. Yes.
Congratulations.
My little man.
Yeah.